Hi. I think I'm live, but one, can you hear me? Two, is the stream slow or delayed? Because it looks a little slow, delayed on my computer, but it doesn't look that way on my iPad. Hey, Nancy. Glad you're here. Hey, Very Cherry. Can you guys hear me? Coming through good. Okay. Is it like when I do this, is it really slow and like you're no? Because it looks fine on my iPad. It looks really weird on the computer. I don't know why. I thought the computer was supposed to be good at stuff. But really, I just need to be better at telling it what to do. Okay. So, wait, it's slow? It's like slow motion beers, or it's coming through fine? Delayed on your computer. Why? Why? Let's remove me. Okay. I'm removed. Audio was also removed. Okay. Add to stage. Why is it still doing that? Slow motion. Fine. Slow motion, but the sound is good. I don't like it. It doesn't matter. Right. You're right. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let's see. Let me get the video pulled up. I don't think I want to start with that one. Okay, hold on. What did I call it? This one? We'll start with this one. And then we'll go to this is just a little warm up. Let me get it to the right place. See, the thing is that I can't, there's some of these things that I can't do in advance until it goes live. A little slow-mo when I moved. I don't. Okay, fine. Who cares? Let's put this one on. Can you still hear me? Probably can. One cam plus cord. Okay, got it. I'm going. View. Auto range. Okay. All right. Here we go. Since it's slow-mo when I moved, I'll just not put me on the screen for now. But I'm glad you can hear me, and thank you for letting me know. And let's share screen, present, share screen. Here we go. I've seen just pieces of this, so this one will kind of be a reaction, and then we have a little bit more fun, hopefully. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Mr. Renault, Ms. Campbell, if both of you would turn your cameras on, unmute your devices. Mr. Renault, I need you to orient the device so that I can see you. There you go.
My audio was removed.
All right, the court is on the record, calling cause 52305. Back in late 2022, the court entered an order revoking Mr. Renault's community supervision and reimposing a prior jail sentence for contempt of court. There was also modification and other issues addressed in that order. Here multiple times, Mr. Renault has posted some bonds, including a bond in September, or posted in September, after he was ordered to self-report. And we're back here today.
Thank you. I'm not sure who gifted the membership. But wow, there's already 14 people here. Yes. It might have been, if you've been here before, Deb, it might have been last time. I don't know. Oh, Peach. Hi, Peach. Were you the one that donated the membership? I'm not sure who did, Deb, but whoever did, they're amazing. YouTube algorithm is working in my favor. Yay, trans. Allie B. Awesome. It's so good to see you guys here. I thought for sure if I went live like this much on time, surely everybody would be like, no. Okay, she says she's going to stream. I'll check in an hour. Mortimer Duke, you missed me being almost on time. That's what you missed. You really haven't missed anything. What you missed was me being slow motion for some reason when my camera is on, and I have no idea why. It does not make any sense to me. Yeah, you didn't miss anything. But you know what? What if I leave and come back? Because say, look. Let's see. This is what happens. Like I'm moving, but so it's not, I have no idea why. No idea what the problem is. But, okay, camera here. Ooh, touch up my appearance button. What is that? If only I had a camera and I could click that button. Oh, sweet. I haven't seen it either, Peach, actually, but it is a family case. I hope it's not too terrible. Okay. Wow, I can't believe you guys came. Okay, I'm gonna remove myself. If you guys can hear me, I'm gonna play the case and stop talking. And after this, we have a couple other cases I found. This was definitely a little bit last minute, but I mean, I don't like coming on here and playing cases if I don't have any feelings about them or if they're not exciting. And hopefully this one is. All right, let's go.
September 15th, 2023. The state today is represented by Rebecca Graham, Assistant Attorney General. Ms. Graham, are you ready?
Wait, I'm going back a little bit. I think I have better of the controls today because I really want to hear what he said. Because this is my first time watching this too.
So long, I was trying to get other stuff taken care of. Mr. Renaud, Ms. Campbell, if both of you would turn your cameras on, unmute your devices. Mr. Renaud, I need you to orient the device so that I can see you. There you go.
He looks.
All right, the court is on the record. Calling cause 52305. Back in late 2022, the court entered an order revoking Mr. Renaud's community supervision and reimposing a prior jail sentence for contempt of court. There was also a modification of other issues addressed in that order. Here multiple times, Mr. Renaud has posted some bonds, including a bond in September, posted in September, after he was ordered to self-report. And we're back here today, September 15th, 2023. The state today is represented by Rebecca Graham, Assistant Attorney General. Ms. Graham, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
The mother, Megan Campbell, is present via Zoom. We are all on Zoom today because in Hill County, the annex where the court usually holds court is, so far as I understand, still under construction, and we don't have a place to occupy while we're in Hill County. So we're doing Hill County dockets by Zoom for the foreseeable future. Ms. Campbell, are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
And Mr. Renaud is present as well. Mr. Renaud, are you ready to proceed?
Yep.
Sorry, I just banged my microphone really hard, but he was chugging at what looked like an energy drink. Yeah, thank you for pointing out. Is playing at 1 point. Oh, shoot. Thank you for pointing. Okay, Trance. Thank you, Trance. I don't know what I would do without you, my trusty assistant. Let's play it at 1x speed. That was me trying to watch stuff beforehand to see if it was decent enough to watch on stream with y'all. Here we go. Chugging an energy drink. He looks tired. He looks like he needed maybe to chug too.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Renaud, Ms. Campbell, both of you raise your right hands. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to offer in the case on trial before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
You may both put your hands down. All right, Ms. Graham, you may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Don Renault. Mr. Renault, can you tell me when did you post the bond that was applied to your case on September the 8th?
June the 31st, I think, or 30th, or something like that, ma'am.
And since that time, have you made any payments?
Scheduled to make a payment later today when I get paid.
Now, the last time we were here, I think, you informed me that you worked for Stalwart Syntex Solutions. Do you still work for them?
No, ma'am. I had some emergency issues that had myself relocated.
And so, how long have
Is
you
that
had
better?
your new job?
Since Monday of this week.
Okay,
And
how's
can
the
you tell me who
balance?
you?
How's the balance between my voice and hers? Like, obviously, this is not going to be an ASMR stream, at least not for the first 15 minutes. Anyway, let me know if I need to adjust the volume on the video.
Working for now?
Melvany Transport.
I'm sorry, what's the name of it?
Melvany Transport.
And where are they located?
Leroy, Texas.
And what are you doing for them?
I'm a diesel technician.
How much are you getting paid an hour?
12 or 13. I don't remember.
How many hours a week are you working?
40.
Do you know if they have benefits for your children? Health insurance, dental insurance?
They do not.
When did you lose your job at Stalwart?
They do
Uh-oh. What happened?
not. Just about a month ago.
Last time we were here, you lived with a fiance and her children. Do you still live with her?
I get
do
that
not.
joke.
And how long have you not lived with her?
For about 2 months now.
And currently, are you paying rent anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Do you have a permanent address?
No, ma'am.
And who are you currently staying with?
Myself and my truck mostly.
I didn't catch the last part of that. She said he appears to have frozen.
Say that one more time, sir.
I didn't understand. I heard you say you stay with yourself, and then there was something else.
In my truck for the most part. I don't have a place right now.
Okay.
Can you tell me what monthly bills you are paying?
Phone bill, truck payment, insurance, probation fees.
How much is your phone bill every month?
$546.
So you're still paying for your fiance and all her children?
No, ma'am. I'm currently in the process of trying to get that removed and squared away to lower the bill.
Your truck payment, how much is that?
$642.
And when did you buy that truck?
August of 2021.
How much is your insurance?
I think it's like 236 or something like that, ma'am.
How much are your probation fees?
1 second. I just got a notification about it. $3.90 a month.
It's not
$3.90 a month.
too long of a
When are you
case,
supposed
thank
to be done
goodness,
with
Holden.
probation?
2025, August 17th.
How much would you say you spend in food in a month?
Are,
It really varies, honestly. We'll round it up to 250.
And what about gasoline?
Probably 500. Gas is expensive right now.
yes, gas is expensive.
Tell me again how much you receive from the VA every month.
Okay, so are you guys trying to say that you don't want her to start an ASMR channel on YouTube? Because that's kind of what I'm getting from chat, is that you're not interested in a Rebecca Graham ASMR channel. Okay, so you guys have been listening to her for about 8 minutes. Can you imagine the poor judge? Not only is he listening, well, not only is he listening to family court cases all day, and Allie didn't know what ASMR is. So if anybody in the chat could, I know, $250 a month for food. If people in the chat could elucidate ASMR for our Allie, I don't know that I can, but it's like when people like go to the microphone and they go and they tap and they like and they do stuff and it's supposed to like give you like tingles or so. I don't know. I don't get it. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's like, I believe it's like the foundation of Twitch. But yeah, ASMR. That's ASMR. Haven't you ever watched anything where people like lick the microphone? I'm not going to do it. I'm absolutely not going to lick the microphone. But that's what people do, Allie. Here we go. Trans. ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, a term used to describe a tingling, static-like, or goosebump sensation in response to specific triggering audio or visual stimuli. So yeah, some people like it. Some people get really weirded out by it. Some people think that it's sexual. Some people think that it's not. Some of it looks quite provocative sometimes. But anyway, ASMR. That's ASMR. It's soothing. It relaxes people. Rebecca Graham's probably not going to take off on an ASMR channel, but let's continue the case.
I don't remember the exact amount. It's just over 3,000.
No, absolutely not, Mortimer.
You receiving any other money besides your job and the VA benefit?
No, ma'am.
So you paid your bond on June the 30th, right? And you haven't made any payment since then. Have you purchased a motorcycle in the last 60 days?
No, ma'am.
Do
What
you
kind of
have a
question
new
is
Harley
that?
motorcycle?
No, ma'am. I've never owned a Harley in my life.
So it's your testimony that you haven't purchased a motorcycle.
100% yes, ma'am.
Okay. It is the 15th of the month. How much money do you have that you haven't spent already on your bills?
After catching my truck payment up that I missed for the last 2 months and my insurance and the bills that I had to catch up, I have, I think, like $28 till I get paid today.
And how much are you expecting to get paid today?
1 second. Like 450
How often are you paid at your new job?
once a week.
It
I'll
looks
pass
like
the
she's
witness.
floating up and down also.
Ms. Campbell, do you have questions for Mr. Renaud?
I do. I have a couple.
Okay.
Why is helping financially with the boys not a priority for you?
I've already answered that question, and I have proof of the answer as well.
Mr. Renault, answer the question.
I wouldn't mind. I don't mind doing the things that I'm supposed to do, or doing the things that is asked of me, or the things that are my responsibility. But I'm 100% fed up with every single one of y'all persecuting me for falling behind, and nobody saying anything to her for not upholding her end of any part of any agreement.
Persecuted. Okay, Megan.
Ms. Campbell, ask your next question.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you made a voluntary payment?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you help with clothes, shoes, medicine, sports, or anything that the boys need on a monthly basis?
Yeah, when I get a phone call about it, yeah, I do. And I got proof of all that too.
Okay, so the impression that I'm getting here is that she may have been in a family court a couple of times. She may or may not know what to ask and how to ask it. And yeah, he is angry. You can tell he doesn't want to look at her. He doesn't want to look at the screen. It seems fresh, but yeah, it's possibly an OkCupid match gone wrong. I'm not sure.
Okay. I have one more question. Why is it that I have to continue to make a sacrifice willingly by putting my kids before myself, and you, on the other hand, has and will never pay, show up, drive, cry, listen, held, or cheered, or wished, or prayed for the boys? And only by the threat of loss of your own freedom do you put the boys before your own selfish needs. Why is that?
That's what you choose to do. I have no problem doing everything that you just said. You don't let me, so that's your choice, not my problem.
No further questions. Can I read a statement, Your Honor?
No, ma'am, not right now. Ms.
Okay.
Graham, your next witness.
State calls Megan Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Miss Campbell, is there anything else that you want to add to the testimony that Mr.
Yeah, she
Renew
does.
has given today?
I do. I just want to take into consideration that Mr. Renault, he has not showed up in years for these children's, whether that be visits. And yes, he may have proof of me asking him for help with baseball, but he has never once sent a payment to help with baseball. He has withheld my children's Christmas gifts because they will not go to his house. He has then called CPS on me regarding my children's well-being when I am the sole provider for these kids and have been and always will be. Now, Your Honor, please take into consideration that this man, Mr. Renault, chooses to not help with his children on a monthly basis while I continue to struggle and make sure my children have what they need with the money that I make at my job. I cannot buy a house because my finances are so tied up with my children, which my children come before me and always will. I have put everything on hold for myself and my children because of the lack of financial stability that I have, because I receive no help from Mr. Renault. Now, as far as anything else goes with my children and Mr. Renault, he does not hardly ever call them and talk to them. He does not hardly ever visit them, and let alone do the children ever want to go with him. And as advised by CPS, I am not to let my children go anywhere if they have a cry out for help. And I will not send them with somebody who has abused me, put his hands on me and multiple other people. And I will not allow my children to go around somebody who does not have a stable home, financial stability at all. And that is all I have to say today.
Ms. Graham, ask your next question.
State arrest, Judge. I passed a witness.
Sorry. I think in the beginning they did say he was in jail or something, or he did go to jail for non-payment of child support. I don't like and if it's true, and based on his body language and responses, it seems like it's true. The withholding of the Christmas presents. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard enough, I guess, to decide which one's bad, which one's not. And it's usually not all one side. But, I mean, come on. Women with low self-esteem make you so sad. I mean, there's a lot of women out there with low self-esteem.
Mr. Renaud, do you have any questions for Ms. Campbell?
No, sir.
All right. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else
Yeah,
you want to tell the court, Ms. Campbell?
You know what? I just really hope something gets done about this. I appreciate all your help and everything y'all have done for me. But I'm tired of coming here every couple months because he fails to hold up his obligation. It's very draining. I'm losing money currently sitting at home on court. I just wish he understood where I was coming from, and I'm very genuine, and I wonder why he can't do his part for his kids, because if the tables were turned, I would be in a whole lot of trouble for not caring for my children. Without me, I don't know where they would be.
All right.
To be fair, when I say, and that's all I have to say, it's probably indicative that that's definitely not all I have to say. To be fair.
Mr. Renaud, anything else you want to tell the court?
I just want to make it known, since she throws in my face every single time we have this court, that she's losing money. And if no one else can tell, I'm sitting in my truck losing money too. So I'm not on the clock right now. This takes away from my financial whatever.
Hey,
Whatever. I mean, that's all I have to say.
All right. Ms. Graham, you emailed me a pay record. You haven't introduced it or offered it into evidence.
Yeah.
Your Honor, state office on the evidence, what's been marked for identification purposes is State's Exhibit Number 1, the pay record in this case printed today.
Ms. Campbell, do you have any reason why the court should not look at the payment history in this case?
Well, that was
No, it's still the same. I mean, I just
Okay.
got the cash bonds.
Mr. Renaud, do you have any reason why the court should not look at the payment history in your case?
No, sir.
States 1 is admitted.
Are cigarettes really $9 now? Like, is that real? I feel like when I was in college, I remember them specifically being like $4.25. I don't know. It's a long time ago. $10 for a pack of cigarettes.
There's clearly a lot of resentment going on in this particular matter, and it's not something that I can address or fix. But Mr. Renaud, you're making bad choices in not stepping up and making monthly payments. I realize getting tagged for bonds. We've been tagged for 2 of them. $1,083 and $3,249. Can put a strain on your finances.
Okay, that right there, enchanted and everything. That's advanced true crimery right there. When you're watching a video and you see somebody's fingerprint, and your mind is automatically, there's this fingerprint. He can now be framed for a crime. That's advanced, and I wanted to commend you on that.
However, you wouldn't, had you been making your monthly payments of what, $1,083, that would have been, it would have been easier to plan for, it would have been easier to budget for, and it would not have put strain on you. But you're basically backing me into a point or into a position where I have to take action because you won't meet your obligation. So what the court is doing is, again, ordering you to self-report to the Hill County Jail by 5:00 p.m.
Yeah, judge is a different story.
on
not
Friday,
bad.
September 22nd, 2023. And you're just to begin serving the remainder of your jail sentence, whatever that is, however many days that may be. The court is going to put a $2,500 bond on that. If you come in with $2,500, I don't know if they take money orders or cash, but you've been there before, so I'm sure you do. You will do a walkthrough. If you don't have the bond, you'll just sit and begin serving the remainder of your 180 days in jail sentence. Setting this for a review. Let's see what the status of things are on October 20th, 2023 at 8:30 in the morning. Ms. Graham, prepare that order, please, and forward it to me. I email it to Mr. Renaud and Ms. Campbell so they will have knowledge note.
Add to state. Can you hear me now? Oh gosh. Can you hear me? Please tell me.
Add to state. Can you hear me now?
Okay, we can hear me now. All right. Okay. Sorry about that.
Notice as to what's expected.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And then unless there's something else, we're off the record.
Thank you.
Mr. Renaud, Ms. Campbell.
Okay.
I have
so
no jurisdiction.
No! Okay. So yikes. Okay. So that was the one that was actually the first time I actually really watched it. I clicked through it earlier to see if it might be decent. I think it is. I think you're right, Mortimer, that Judge definitely has an ASMR worthy voice. I could definitely nap to that Judge. I hope we don't have a throuple. We don't have a throuple. Great save. Way to think on my toes. I am trying. I'm definitely, I think, still more comfortable with my abilities to kind of force the old technology that didn't work, like to make it work. I am not confident. He's talking about me. Oh, I'm not an ASMR. The Hoosier accent. I'm not even from Indiana, but I do live in here now. Okay, so now we have this is Judge Rosie Speedlin. This is from like, I think the very first day her court came back online, and she was gone for a while. She was gone for a while, but she's back, and I've got to find the beginning of this. And thank you guys for being here, by the way. Oh, you can't stand this judge.
Lourdes Santiago here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mortimer does not like this judge. Note to self. So how do you guys feel about Judge Gonzalez? I hadn't seen her a ton, but when her stream popped back up again, I was like, ooh, new judge. Let's see what she's got. And I learned a couple of things, at least about Texas, during this hearing. So I thought I would hear. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for
Okay,
being
Olga,
patient
you ready to get on the...
with my technology struggles. It's only 36 minutes in, and I'm remembering to ask you to like, if you don't mind. KDB is, my name's Katie. KDB is just like a nickname that I've had for a long time. I think it's funny how some people online get it immediately and they know that it's KDB, but other people like literally will think I'm like Kateb, and they will pronounce it like that for a really long time, and they have that in their heads. But that's what that was. So yeah, I've only seen her a few times as a judge. This was the first one where she came back online. This is back in, like, I think it was like July 31st. But yeah, like and subscribe if you don't mind. So thanks for being here. Thanks for engaging. Thanks for commenting. And thanks for not unsubscribing yesterday when it took me like an hour to get things working. Thank you to 3 Beers, Old Squishy, and Thane, who like walked me through it on Discord. I really appreciate that. It was a mess. I was a mess. But here we go. Let's hear this case. I'm on thin ice. I am on thin ice. Uh-oh. Thank you, Holden. I got a subscriber. Yes. Oh, speaking of subscribers, I'm supposed to give you updates. I'll tell you in a minute. I'll have to check. But I think it's getting close to 9,000. 9,000. It was like, yeah, okay. 8,820 subscribers. I feel like less than 2 weeks ago, it was 7,000. It was like we just hit 7,000, and that was a really big deal. So thank you. And if you don't watch my regular videos, they're definitely better than my live streams. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what I'm doing there either. You can definitely, it's, I'm gonna shut up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's play.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday, July the 31st, 2023. It is 3:14 p.m. You are in Bexar County Court of Law number 13. My name is Judge Rosie Speedlin Gonzalez, and I preside over this court this afternoon. As most afternoons, we hear motions practice, and we do have a motion to alter bond that was filed by Mr. Michael White on the 22nd day of June. It was accepted by the county clerk on the 23rd. So, Ms. De Santiago, your attorney's going to go first, and he's going to make argument, present evidence, maybe call witnesses to move to the court, argue to the court that the court should grant the motion he's filed on your behalf. Now, before the court can make any decisions regarding his motion, I need to afford the state any and all time necessary to make any arguments, inform the court of any concerns, take a position on the motion filed by Mr. White, and then we'll see whether this motion is granted or not. Any questions, Ms. De Santiago?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, please stand by, ma'am. Can I get announcements from the attorneys for and on the record, please?
I would be having an asthma
Catherine
attack if I
O'Reilly
had a
for the state.
cat sleeping on my chest.
Michael White for Ms. De Santiago.
Mr. White, the floor is yours. So let me know how you want to go forward. We'll go ahead and forego any opening arguments, and you can start your evidentiary hearing.
All right, I'd just like to call Lourdes De Santiago. to
Okay, and
testify.
she is the defendant, correct?
That's right.
Okay, Mr. Santiago, I do need to swear you in. Please raise your right hand. Your other right hand, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
She does.
Should you make a false statement in light
She
of the
does.
court?
I do.
You may put your hand down, Ms. De Santiago. Mr. White, the witness is yours.
For a tiny bit of context, this was the very first. This was the very first case that I saw from her. I'd seen her before, but I mean, like, I think seeing her Metroplex. I used to live in DFW somewhere around there, Fort Worth area, before I lived here. So this was my first impression of her, and she taught me a few things. So that's why I'm sharing it.
Okay. Lourdes, tell the judge, how did this whole thing begin?
Melanie.
With the tossing of drinks, I think, at each other or whatever.
Sure. We had gone out to dinner, my husband and I. We came home and there was a notice to vacate on our door. And so when I got the notice to vacate, it was letting us know that the rent had not been paid. And so I asked my husband what that was about. And from that conversation, it turned out that he had been terminated from his employment and hadn't told me and hadn't paid the rent. Naturally, we started arguing. And in the arguing back and forth, my husband he was drinking water from a plastic cup. I was drinking water from a Yeti cup, and I threw my water at him and asked him, like, wake up, react. Do you realize what's happening? And he in turn responded and threw his cup of water that he was drinking, but he had like a solo plastic cup with water in it, and he threw the whole thing at me with the cup and hit my face. So I just reacted and swung it back at him, not aiming or intentionally expecting to hit his face. My husband is 6'3", and he was out in the balcony. I was inside, and there was a little bit of a distance. So I didn't expect that I was going to have any kind of actual contact on his face. I just reacted to him throwing the cup of water in my face, because with the water in it, I mean, it naturally went in my face, and it was just an instinctive reaction to throw my cup of that I had. I just so happened to be drinking out of a Yeti cup instead of a plastic cup.
So then that made the wound at his eyebrow or something like that, or what?
So when I threw it, he had turned, and I hit him right over the eyebrow, and so it caused like some kind of a small cut on the top, and it started to bleed. I was still inside. He was outside and put his hand over it, so I couldn't see what was going on. He just walked in and said, "I'm bleeding," and then he called 911, and then he hung up. He got nervous and he hung up, and then they called back, and then he explained to them what had taken place. And we both thought that the police were going to just come in and tell us, that we shouldn't be doing that, and that it was going to be a slap in the hand and we were going to leave. We didn't realize that it was going to go to this extreme in that moment. I don't think either one of us thought that was going to happen.
Okay.
So how has it happened? How has it been
This is
since
the
then? Is he?
I mean, they have This is a Yeti. It's not a big one. There are bigger ones, but it's a metal. Oh, this is ASMR. Okay. Sorry, that's gross. This is a Yeti, and I think what she's saying is like, if I chuck this at somebody's head, or like, this would hurt. This could definitely be it could cause like GBH for sure. I believe the cup was full, but I think we might be getting into some details. Okay, I'll shut up and play.
Is he anxious to have you prosecuted or what?
No, of course not. He we obviously had a no contact order, and there was some misunderstanding with the court where when you told me that the no contact order had been lifted on the 26th. So he came back home because he hadn't been.
I'm sorry, on the 26th of when?
The 26th of June, I believe it was.
And you were in a hearing in this court where it was not lifted, where it was lifted?
No, I got a call from the attorney, from Mr. White, telling me that they had approved the motion. They had been accepted, that they removed the no contact order. And so I informed my husband that the no contact order had been removed. And so when he came back, we talked about the process, and he had agreed that he was going to file, he didn't want to press charges or didn't want to do anything. What could we do to make this go away? And so at that point, he did an affidavit of non-prosecution. And then I called to inform my, I guess my probation officer, someone at PTD or something like that, so I was told to report to someone. I can't think of her name, the officer. So when I contacted her, I updated her, and I had let her know, because she said, any changes to the case, let me know. And I said, there was a modification to the bond. And she said, I didn't receive any notice of that. And I said, what do you mean? So she went
Ms. Santiago, I'm going to stop you right here.
Yes.
And I'm going to inform you right now that unless my court coordinator corrects me here in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you right now, as a judge that presides over this court, that oversees your case,
Yes, ma'am.
that I have no information whatsoever. I can tell you right now, I've never seen you before then, other than today, that there was any hearing before this court that lifted your no contact order on or about the 26th of June.
That is correct, Your Honor. I found that out when I called my officer to tell her of the changes. She went in and looked it up, and she told me, no, ma'am, the only order that was approved was your travel, because I had to travel.
Yes, and I have that in front of me, because I have your whole file in front of me electronically, and I always review those electronic notes before we go into a hearing. And the last order signed in this case was your request to travel due to work, and I approved it.
Yes, ma'am. And so when she told me that that order had not been approved, I called back Mr. White, and I said, Mr. White, what's going on? I am literally in violation right now of this motion. Like, what's going on? And so he said, but I got confirmation from the court. So then he called and found out that apparently there was they gave him the information for the travel motion, and he thought that was my motion that was approved. And so that was the only time that I had an opportunity to talk to my husband, because immediately after we found out that that motion had not been lifted, then he left again.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you for filling us in, and thank you for your candidness. Okay.
Lawyer's right next to her.
Mr. White, any other questions of your client and the present witness on the stand?
Yes. All right.
You may proceed.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're asking if the lawyer messed up? I mean, by letting her speak, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with him. But he doesn't necessarily inspire confidence so far. Let's see.
Lourdes, well, how has the whole history of any kind of violence between you and your husband been? How long have you been married to him? Tiffany?
We've been married for 5 years. Well, we've been married for 4 years together.
I think what she's asking, what she's asking for is, do we know what she's asking for yet? Do you know? I don't want to be a spoiler, but we do know, right? She is she's asking for them to remove the PPO, I believe. So there's a protection order out between her and her husband. Yeah, they've said this. There's a protection order out where she and her husband can't have any contact, and they want that removed. Okay, some people were saying they were confused. Yeah, so that's what's happening. Yeah, she wants it to be modified.
They're 5 years. I mean, we naturally have arguments, but not where we get like this to this extreme. So, yeah.
All right. So if the judge were to lift the no contact order, what are the chances of something like this happening again, or any other kind of violence between
I'm
you?
not going to accept that question, Mr. White. That's sheer speculation into the future. You don't have to answer that question, Ms. De Santiago. Next question, Mr. White.
Objection by the
Okay.
judge.
Well, in those 5 years that you've been together, have there been any incidences like this between you?
No, not where we're, no, Your Honor. I'm sorry, no.
Okay. All right. And well,
Right.
what
It's not
what
great.
opinion can you give the judge about your whole feeling and attitude if she were to approve this and
Oh.
lift the no
Thank
contact
you,
order?
Grixie.
Sure. Well, I think that the circumstances were extreme in our case. My husband works from home.
Uh-huh.
It was very difficult for him to tell me he got let go from work. He couldn't pay the rent. Too proud to say anything. So naturally, it was difficult. We haven't experienced anything like this in the time that we've been together. So we're both just, I work on sales, so it's not like a secured income, but nonetheless, we, for the most part, managed to work through our issues. And I don't think that this probably should have ever happened, because it was so unintentional. I don't think that, I mean, we weren't hitting each other or trying to hit each other. I think it was just natural instincts in that moment. And I'm very sorry that I threw that cup of water. I never intended to harm him.
Sure. it was
The last
water.
thing we needed was additional medical bills. And this has been very costly. So it's just been a very tough process, and I don't expect to ever have this happen again.
Okay. I'd like to pass the witness then.
Okay, state, any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. De Santiago, do you currently work?
I do,
Where do you work?
at a real estate company.
And where are you currently living?
At an apartment located at the Rim. Do you want me to give you the address?
No, just do you have housing that's different than the housing you were in when the incident took place?
Yes, I stayed in the home and he's staying at his friend's house.
All right. And does anyone else share the home with you?
No, we have 2 6-year-old twins that they're my stepdaughters, but since all this has happened, there's been no contact with us since.
And do you two share any, do you and the complaining witness share any children together?
No, only my stepdaughters. We've had them since they were 2.5, and it's a shared custody agreement.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. White, any other witnesses, please?
And no other witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay, state, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Santiago, I need you to hear what I'm about to say to you. And
Yes,
this is no reflection on or any judgment on you. I need you to understand a few things. All
want
we hear
everybody
in
to
this
go to
court
jail.
is family violence cases. I have to balance your right to due process and the presumption of innocence at trial. Okay? This is not a trial. This is a hearing on bond conditions. At bond conditions, the threshold for evidence is a preponderance of the evidence. Okay? The threshold at your trial during which your due process must be protected is beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, in order for me to effectively hear and make decisions about bond conditions, not your guilt or innocence, I go the extra mile to make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed so that you can remain in the community free to work until your trial comes, if you choose to go to trial, which is your choice, okay? Or until your case is disposed of, either through your decision to take a plea or the state's decision to dismiss the case. Having said that, one of the charges that I have as a judge is to keep the community and the complaining witnesses safe. We have no victims in this court until and if someone pleads guilty or a jury finds a defendant guilty of the offense that they're
We'll
charged
see,
with.
Allie.
That is the pivot that creates a victim, okay? Right now we have a complaining witness, and that is Mr. Weber, okay? So I've been on this bench for 4 years and 7 months. The entire time I have been on this bench, Ms. De Santiago, I have required complaining witnesses who want the type of change that you're asking for as a defendant to come in and tell me that they're in agreement. And this is why they're in agreement, that they want you home, that they want to live with you, and they want this no contact order lifted. Here's why. There's a long history that's been established, not during my tenure, but prior to that, of complaining witnesses coming in and showing up in person or showing up in the courtroom or sending me emails or sending the prosecutors emails or calling them or our court coordinator and saying to us, how dare you make a decision without my input? I'm the victim here. I'm the complaining witness here, and you don't care about my opinion or that I'm safe. So, having said that, Ms. Weber, Ms. De Santiago, I need Mr. Weber present. I need him to come in and talk to the court and make himself available to Ms. O'Reilly for questions. Or he can come in and talk to her in person at her office. And if she's convinced that it's okay for y'all to live together, she'll send to me what we call a SCOB, S-C-O-B. A SCOB means special conditions of bond. And you and your attorney can come to some agreement with Ms. O'Reilly after she speaks to Mr. Weber that it's okay to lift that no contact order. And I'll sign it. So it could be either that way or we can recess today, Ms. De Santiago. And Mr. White can make the arrangements with Ms. Obledo to resume the hearing once Mr. Weber makes himself available on Zoom to be part of this hearing. Tell us what you want to do, Ms. De Santiago, because the bottom line today is I'm not granting the motion. I need to hear from Mr. Weber.
So we were not, I didn't know that he had to be present. And like I said, right now with the no contact order for work, I've just been very careful to make sure that we don't mess that up at all. Like I can't afford that, obviously, and I don't want to do that. But it was our understanding that his affidavit of non-prosecution that he wrote and had notarized and sent in would be sufficient. And that's why.
Mr. Santiago, all
Yes, ma'am.
that is an additional piece of evidence, because all that is an affidavit. It is not an order signed by me. Okay.
Correct.
It is a signal sent to the prosecutors, letting them know how they feel as a complaining witness. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think that I didn't understand that, and I didn't know, and Mr. White didn't know that he was supposed to contact him to be present. We didn't know.
Okay.
Whose phone
And
is
so that has been our standing protocol. That's all I'm going to say, Mr. Santiago.
Oh, the
And
judge is
so,
fine.
if your attorney wants to call him or ask that, because I don't know if Miss O'Reilly has had any contact with him or if he's even responding to her calls.
He has not responded to our calls, Your Honor.
So that doesn't help you, Ms. De Santiago, that he's not responding to the calls. Now, you may want to have, before you leave Mr. White's office today, Mr. White can place a call to him and say, Mr. Weber, the judge wants to speak to you.
Okay.
She has recessed the hearing. She's not ruling on our motion until she speaks to you. And we can resume the hearing when he makes himself available. The legal term is when he avails himself to the court, so that he can put on the record that Olga, our court reporter, is taking under oath what he wants and makes himself available for questions from Mr. White, from Miss O'Reilly, and from myself. Okay? I don't want you to walk away despondent. This isn't the end all be all. The door is still open to consideration, Mr. Santiago. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And so go ahead.
So I have a question. Our actual trial or hearing is tomorrow.
Is that, I'm not sure that that's a trial, ma'am, because we don't have trials on Tuesdays.
So I guess our hearing is also tomorrow.
Okay, so you have another setting tomorrow. Let me confirm. Ms. Obledo, is there another arraignment or is it a trial call docket? What is it tomorrow? Is there anything set on this matter tomorrow?
She has an arraignment set. I explained to her and Mr. White that our motion hearings are held at different times than the arraignment hearings.
Yes.
Normally prosecutors don't have enough time during the afternoon because of the motions to confer on an arraignment or a pretrial.
Okay, so Ms. De Santiago, here's what I want you to know. We have over 700 cases in this court. This is our schedule every week. Monday mornings, we call a docket for arraignments, pretrial conferences. Okay. Every afternoon, Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, we start with motions, just like the one we're hearing right now. Okay. On Wednesdays, we pick a jury. It takes all day. On Thursdays, that jury sits in and participates in the evidentiary trial of any given defendant. And on Friday, we have a special court for first-time offenders of family violence called Reflejo Court. So the best thing that we can offer you to resume your request, your motion, would be a Monday or Tuesday afternoon that we can squeeze you in when Mr. Weber is available to come on screen like we are right now, come under oath and testify. And like I said, avail himself to Miss O'Reilly, myself, and Mr. White, asking them questions so that I can make the proper decision. Now, a shortcut to that would be that Mr. White, in all his skill, confers with Miss O'Reilly and they come up with some agreement. And I'm sure Miss O'Reilly's not going to come to any agreement until she speaks to Mr. Weber. And once that happens, if they can come to an agreement and Miss O'Reilly sends me that agreement that's been signed off on by Mr. White and herself, then I will sign off on it and we don't need a hearing.
Okay.
Okay. So there's different ways we can skin this cat. And by no means am I guaranteeing that this is going to be granted, but I'm trying to give you the avenues to seek your relief.
Okay.
Okay. And
Yes.
so at this time, I think it's most appropriate that we recess. I'm not denying your motion. I'm not granting your motion. What I'm saying is we have a piece of the puzzle missing for me to make a proper decision.
So,
And that piece of the puzzle is Mr. Weber's appearance and communication with Ms. O'Reilly and the court.
okay. So,
Okay.
would you be able to, will my attorney be able to talk to her now, or?
Ms. O'Reilly, are you amenable to Mr. White conferring with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll go ahead and put them in a breakout room, Ms. De Santiago, and we'll see how far we get this afternoon, okay?
Thank you so much.
Stand by, Ms. Santiago. We're gonna go off the record, Olga, that we're standing in recess. And I'll anticipate that Kathleen will tell me what the next steps are, or if she's gonna send us a SCOB, or if we're gonna resume this at a later date when Mr. Weber avails himself to the court. Off the record. Can someone please assist Mr. White in going into a conferring room with Ms. O'Reilly so that they can see if they can come to some agreement or not? And we'll take it from there, Ms. De Santiago, okay?
Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, ma'am. What's next, Sybil? Do we have anything else?
Yes, ma'am. We have a 3:30 hearing. We have
And
Attorney Miss Beck present. Her
Okay. Sorry. Okay. I think what I said was thank you, Allie, for the super chat. I always have things in my secret vault. But one thing that I need to do is I need to get my secret vault streamlined so that I can access it from this computer, because this is a PC. And for those of you that weren't here yesterday or didn't hang around for the hour of technical difficulties before, I can try and show you. There's a pretty box. The box is pretty. Let's see. I can try this. Okay. I'm not really good at holding the camera. Like, see, it has like pretty lights. I don't know, whatever. It's a computer, but so yeah, I mean, you guys have been super generous in watching, and the tech unboxing video, that was stressful. It's not an Alienware computer, but Afix helped build it. You guys sometimes see him around here, but this is a very, very fancy computer. It is out of my league. I am doing my very best to try and figure it out. But everything that I had prior to this, I will play more. Everything that I had prior to this was Apple, and okay, let me get this. Let me get the next case. Apple
client
and
has the video off. Crystal
this computer
Sosa.
don't like each other.
okay, Ms. Beck, can you give me a couple of minutes? I'm gonna get my end of the streets paperwork ready.
Okay, her end of the street. So I gotta fast forward it a little bit. I'm trying to get everything to communicate, but I do thank you guys. Like, there were a lot of you that were super generous. My goal was to raise $2,000 for the computer. It actually costs like $2,700 all said and done, but I do still have to get a few things like a webcam and some speakers, and I'm freeing myself of Apple. I'm starting to free myself of Apple. I don't know if I'm ready to do away with my iPhone just yet, but maybe once I get this. I did spend too much on the computer. I absolutely did. Okay, well, some of it was like shipping. Some of it was because, like, they built it. It wasn't like a, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever it was, but you guys, I feel like you had, when you get a USB camera, yeah, it will be a lot easier, and I'll get one. But basically what I was saying is that, like, I feel like that you guys had enough confidence in me for me to have confidence in myself that, you know, I raised about half of it, and I thought, like, okay, go ahead and do it. So I did. So thank you. Thank you. It is not a Dell. It is a CLX from a website, CLX. I didn't understand any of it. But yeah, it's working well. Okay, I'm going to this case. I can't multitask like most streamers can, so I apologize. Okay, where's the judge? Where's the judge? Stay grand. Half of it was the GTX 4090. Those things are crazy. What is the GTX? I don't even know what a GTX 4090 is. I don't know what that is. I know there was one thing. Hey, Ashley, I'm glad you're lurking. I'm a lurker at heart too. I know one of the things, they sent me an email that said that there was like an instability with it, and that they could continue building it if I was okay with them replacing something with something that was even better, and they weren't going to charge me for it. So it could have been that. I don't know. I can't translate any of that stuff. But
Connor.
Okay, and we have.
Oh, geez, that might have been. I don't know. I don't know what that thing is that you're talking about. I have no idea. 33. But it is exciting. It's very exciting, and I'm hopefully going to learn how to use it. Okay. I was so scared unboxing this squishy. Hide current comment. Here we go. Yeah. Come on. What's the deal? It's really hard to move this without screwing up everything. 2 times.
Olga, you ready?
Here we go.
Yes,
oh,
Audrey, you're going to be on this one.
There we go.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and we have Ms. Sosa on, and we have Celine Beck for the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez. With that, let's get on the record. The court is calling case number 709-939 onto the record. Ms. Sosa, have you given your attorney and this court permission to go forward with your proceeding via video conference, also known as the Zoom app?
Whatever that means.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please stand by, Ms. Sosa. Can I get announcements from the attorneys for and on the record, please?
Audrey Flores for the state.
Overclock
Ellen
means I
Beck
can
for
play
defendant.
games and ride horses. Off
And
of cliffs.
Ms. Sosa, your attorney's office has filed a motion to modify your conditions of bond. They filed the motion on the 15th of June, and it was accepted by the county clerk on the same day. So you're going to hear your attorney make an argument, possibly putting on witnesses and evidence. And I'm reading the motion now, Ms. Sosa. I know you've been listening to the prior proceeding, and I understand that the complaining witness is available to testify. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Ms. Sosa, your attorney's going to call witnesses. Your attorney's going to put on other evidence she deems necessary and appropriate to move to the court to grant your motion. But before I can consider doing any of that, I must hear from the state, and the state will have the same opportunity as your attorney to apprise the court of any concerns they may have, or to put on any evidence they believe.
We do a lot of fun stuff in Discord, like hang out in voice and play games and watch me try to play a real video game. That was fun a couple nights ago. But I don't know about betas, but I do know about VHS. Those, we had those when I was little. So yeah, the horses and the cliffs are fun. If any mods are here that can put the link to Discord in the chat, that would be amazing. If not, I will do it in a second. But if you haven't joined Discord, join. It's a lot of fun. And yes, you can get the Discord, of course. Hang on.
Believe is appropriate. And then once I hear from both sides, then the court will decide whether to grant your motion or not. Okay?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Beck, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Judge. I'm going to go ahead and call Mr. David Solis, Judge.
Let's go ahead and bring Mr. Solis in from the break room. The conference room, breakout room, whatever you want to call it. Romper room.
Romper room? I've never heard of that. Okay, copy link. YouTube. Post in chat. Paste. Did I pause the video on accident? Okay, the Discord link
May I
is
ask him to
pinned
start his
at the
video, Your
top.
Honor? Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Mr. Solis, if you can hear me, start your video.
You don't have to talk on the Discord thing. You totally can.
And
you can also
unmute
just
yourself.
mute yourself. You can mute yourself and you can just like hang out and listen
Oops.
until
No
you're
hat,
comfortable
no,
enough and feel like
No,
talking.
I need those glasses off. And if you're in a moving vehicle, Mr. Solis, whoever's driving needs to pull over.
What's a
Otherwise,
honeypot?
we're going to remove you from the
What do you mean?
courtroom. We do not allow anybody coming in from a moving vehicle.
What's this? Isn't a honeypot like
You need to unmute yourself, sir.
what cops do to make you do something illegal?
And I'm not convinced that that vehicle is not moving.
I definitely fall asleep in the Discord sometimes. It's fine. Everybody, I'm the only person in Discord who, if they fall asleep, won't get kicked out because I happen to be the owner of the Discord. But everybody else, if you fall asleep, it'll just kick you to a room where it will mute you and nobody will be able to like listen. I didn't mean to stay up until 4 a.m.
It mutes it.
It wasn't on purpose.
I don't know what to tell him. It probably has something to do with the vehicles that he's in, if there's some sort of Bluetooth or a device in there.
What am I doing? Come on, Mr. Solis. I'm gonna...
Mr. Solis, why don't you have your chauffeur drive over to somewhere where you can get out of the vehicle and participate in this hearing?
There we go. Mr. Solis.
Try it again. At least the skies are pretty wherever he's at. Try unmuting him, Olga, if you can.
I'm assisting him, but he hits it and then he mutes. Are we done with Feliciano Civil?
You might
At least
not
I was
hit it
getting ready
there,
to take him into a
part.
breakout room. I'd already given his attorney instructions and the gentleman's back here, so I'll take him to a breakout room.
Yeah, he sent us a chat.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
What's happening? Do I have to find it again?
Oh, I put him.
Oh my god. See, Allie.
Okay.
Wasn't prepared.
Let's go ahead and recess, Olga, off the record.
No.
He's coming in again, Your Honor.
Oh, another one. Okay, let's remove the frozen one. Mr. Solis, you still need to unmute yourself, sir.
I'm trying.
There.
There,
All right.
we got it.
There you go.
We got it.
All right, Mr. Solis, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, I need to see you on camera. I don't need to see the top. There you go. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, Mr. Solis, that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under penalty of perjury, should you make a false statement or lie to this court?
Yes.
You may put your hand down, Mr. Solis, and Ms. Beck, the witness is yours.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Solis, can you state your name for the record?
Anthony Solis.
Great. And what is your relationship to Ms. Crystal Sosa?
She's my wife.
And do you have any children with Ms. Sosa?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
2,
2? What are their ages?
7 and 11.
And where are they living right now?
They're in our home.
Okay. Are they living with you or are they living with your wife?
Totally acceptable.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? We're breaking up.
Okay. Are they living with you or are they living with your wife?
They're currently with my wife because I'm working out of town.
Okay. So you understand that there is a no contact order so that your wife cannot have any communication or contact with you at all.
Yes.
Okay. Is that something you asked for when this incident occurred?
No.
Okay. Is it something you currently want?
No.
Okay. How have things been going in regards to your kids since this no contact order was put into place?
I mean, I talk with them every day, and so does she.
Okay. Have you had issues communicating and just parenting with this no contact order in place?
Yes. I mean, it's only because I'm not there. I mean, I can't really do anything because I'm currently working out of town. So,
Well, how long have you been working out of town?
been about a month or two. So I go back on the weekends.
Okay.
Hold
And
hold on, Ms. Beck. What do you mean you go back on the weekends? Where do you go back to, Mr. Solis?
Oh, I go back into town because I'm currently working out of town.
And when you go back into town, whatever town that is, where are you going?
Oh, I stay with one of my friends currently.
Okay. You may continue, Ms. Beck.
Thank you, Judge. Okay. And when you go back into town, how are you able to see your kids?
I just contact my daughter,
Okay.
either my 11th or get a hold of my stepdaughter.
Okay. And is this causing any issues regarding your kids?
Very sus.
Somewhat, yes, because I mean they're always asking me, you know, like why can't you be with mom or why can't we both be together? And I mean I don't even know how to tell them anything like the reason why.
So
Okay.
hold on, Ms. Beck. So you work out of town, and I just want to make sure I'm clear on this, Mr. Solis. You work out of town. You've been out of town on and off for quite a number of weeks, and so your kids aren't seeing you during that time.
No.
Okay. And so on the weekends, when you do get to see them, all of a sudden you're talking about why you're not with their mom, yet you're not with their mom anyway because of work.
Correct.
Okay. And let me just tell you something, Mr. Solis. I'm almost 60 years old, okay? I've been doing this work for a long time. And I'm going to tell you right now, my dad worked out of town for weeks and months at a time. And not ever, Mr. Solis, that my brother and I asked my dad why him and mom were not together. We knew he worked out of town. And that if he saw us on the weekends, that was great. So I want you to be aware of how you're putting on your testimony, okay? Because I just didn't fall off the turnip truck. And I want to remind you that you're under oath and you're subject to perjury. You may continue, Ms. Beck.
Thank you, Judge.
Any other questions, ma'am?
Yes, sorry, I lost my train of thought, so just give me 1 second, Judge.
Me too.
Mr. Solis, just to confirm, you are not
Me
living at the home,
too.
correct?
No.
Okay. And you have no communication with Ms. Sosa, correct?
No.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Ms. Flores, any questions of Mr. Solis?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly. Mr. Solis, you stated that you did not request a no contact order. Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
You stated that you did not request the no contact order. Is that correct?
Me too.
Correct.
And do you understand why the police put that no contact order on your wife?
Honestly, I don't. I mean, I remember I had told them like I don't want pressing charges. I don't want anything happening or anything like that. I can't see him.
I'm sorry, I think the audio cut out. Can you say that one more time?
I said I just remember telling the officers that I didn't want anything to happen. I didn't want to press no charges or anything like that. I mean,
I didn't want to press any charges.
Do you recall why the police were called out?
I don't, honestly.
You don't recall showing them scratches and that your shirt had been torn?
Oh no, yes. I remember they told me like, oh yeah, we were called and then they saw the shirt and I remember what was I think it was a skinny. It was the one on the right. I don't remember their names. But he had told me that your shirt's torn. You had a couple scratches. He was like, I know that y'all were in an argument. It looks like y'all were fighting.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Beck, any more redirect?
Just one more, Judge. Mr. Solis, are you in fear for Ms. Sosa?
What do you mean? Like, am I afraid of her?
Are you afraid of her? Yes, sir. Mr. Solis, I need a verbal response.
Oh, I said no.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass the witness.
State, any more recross?
No, Your Honor.
Who called the police? Do we have a record of that?
Yeah.
Can anybody answer the question? Was it Ms.
I think
Sosa? Was it Mr.
Black and
Solis?
white
Was
stripe.
it another
Yeah.
witness?
The defendant actually called 911 in this incident.
Okay, all right. I hear closing
be.
argument, closing requests from Ms. Beck first and then from Ms. Flores.
Your Honor, we would ask that the no contact order be removed. Mr. Solis is not in fear for Ms. Sosa. He did not ask for the no contact order, and they share children in common, which has made some issues when he is back in town in order to communicate with them. They're having to communicate through their child, not to each other. So I would ask that the no contact order be removed for both the parties' convenience.
Ms. Flores?
Your Honor, we're not opposed to the no contact being downgraded only for the purpose of communicating about the children.
To be fair, horizontal stripes help almost no one, unless you're like under 12 years old. Okay, sorry, I just had to point that out.
Other than that, it appears that Mr. Solis is away from work and not currently living at the residence.
All right, here's the court's decision. The no contact order will be lifted from Saturday morning at 8 o'clock to Saturday afternoon at 6.
I like the specificity.
And Sundays from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6. That's it. They want the entire no contact order lifted, Ms. Beck. Your client needs to get enrolled in family therapy. The kids need to be enrolled in some sort of therapy, because if these two think that these kids don't know what's going on, if they think that if the kids weren't nowhere to see this, or I don't know if the kids were present or not, it's not relevant to me, because kids of that age know when their parents aren't getting along. Kids
Can I say something?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll call you afterwards, Ms. Sosa.
Okay.
I don't want this type of whatever I've seen on the screen today to become a generational issue. They've already started to model inappropriate relationships to their children. People don't tear shirts off each other. People don't scratch each other. People don't come onto a screen and try to lie to a judge about the severity of the incident. So the order is, the no contact order stays in place except for Saturdays 8 to 6 and Sundays 8 to 6. That means that Ms. Sosa cannot spend the night anywhere with Mr. Solis.
Mortimer too.
They want to get over this hump. They want to improve their relationship for the sake of their children. They can find a therapist wherever they're at.
The jokes
when
are
he's
writing
home on the
themselves.
weekends, if he wants to engage in therapy with her, because I have no jurisdiction over him, but I do over Ms. Sosa. And you want to bring a therapist in here, Ms. Beck, after there's an intake assessment and at least 4 or 5 sessions during which a therapist works with Ms. Sosa and the kids. And if Mr. Solis wants to participate, to come here under oath or send me a letter on their letterhead telling me all issues have resolved that pose a threat of safety to each other and the children, then I'll remove the rest of the no contact order. Ms. Beck, Ms. Flores, any questions?
Just briefly, Judge, to clarify, are you asking for group sessions with including Mr. Solis or separate?
The only place he can no, it'd be group. It can be group on Saturdays between 8 and 6 or Sundays from 8 to 6.
Okay,
He can't
thank you, Judge.
participate. He can't participate by his own testimony at any other time. He's working out of town. So if he's coming home on the weekends, then Miss Sosa needs to find herself a therapist to work with her anger issues, to resolve whatever issues that the kids may have, having witnessed this relationship interact the way that's led them to be before the court. And if Mr. Solis wants to participate, he's not even listening because he's not even here with us anymore. He can. But I don't see how a therapist can make a recommendation to me without his participation. So.
Can I make just a clarification
No,
that I
Ms.
think
Sosa.
it's important? It's important. Just so
Somebody
because of all
please
the rules
mute
that-
her. Her attorney is asking her not to comment. Your attorney can clarify anything she wants to me, Ms. Sosa, at another time. Or she can clarify it to the prosecutor.
And we do have a hearing set for tomorrow, Judge.
Okay.
Sorry, an arraignment setting tomorrow.
Okay. Ms. Beck, do you understand the reasoning behind this decision?
I believe so, Judge, yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Ms. Beck?
Not at this time, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Flores, anything else that the state needs to put on the record?
Nothing else from the state, Your Honor.
I'm going to go type up these orders, Ms. Beck, as clearly as I can. You should have it in your email in the next 30 minutes.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, and we'll see you all tomorrow. That concludes the record, and we're off the record. Everyone is excused.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Garza, do you have anybody in the courtroom?
So, I don't know. Daylight disinfectant. You always want everybody to go to jail immediately. You're funny. All of you guys are funny. But that's what I have today. I mean, I do have more stuff. I have a lot of stuff, but I want to make sure what I choose is worthwhile. And I think that those were, and I hope you guys liked it. I will go into Discord for a little bit. I'm not going to stay up until 4 a.m. or hopefully fall asleep in the Discord again. But if you don't know what Discord is, I think somebody did ask what it was. I don't know if they're still here. But Discord is a place that's kind of like this, where I can stream or anybody can stream. And there's a chat like this that you can chat, but you can also be connected. And if you want to talk, you can talk. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk. Discord could be toxic. My Discord is not toxic at this point, and I hope that it never is. I've been on Discord for a long time, and I have seen a lot that can be toxic, but glitter fart, it's okay. Discord's fun. If you want to join. If you don't, I totally get it. But thank you for being here. Like and subscribe. Be careful. Don't break the law. If you do, don't get caught. And if your friends are in trouble, always bail them out. And until next time, I will see you on Discord. Good night.